So today is my first day of this carnivore journey. I'll be the first to admit that I'm going into this kicking and screaming. Maybe that's the wrong word. Maybe skeptical, critical kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um, I've been on Facebook. I've been part of the group a little bit. I've heard the testimonies. I've heard the testimony from you. This has been really good for you. It's been good for, Jordan Peterson and of course all the people that follow that. And I'm still skeptical. I'm still critical, and I think it's one more thing that one more gimmick that may or may not work, and it's going to cost me a lot. And by cost, I mean I don't get to eat what I want to eat. I like lasagna, I like my sandwiches and that kind of thing, and it shows.
What do you think the hardest thing will be to turn down?
Pasta's probably, to me,
the blanket. Pasta.
Yeah. I like spaghetti. I like ravioli, things like that. Now, in all fairness, for the last number of months, 6 months has been that long, 4 months. I mean, we haven't had a loaf of bread in the house. We've had very few pastas. My wife has been on a different diet,
like a keto style,
more like keto, yeah. So we haven't had bread in the house, but I've cheated and I've had pasta, and I stop alongside the road. I'm a driver. So one of the things with a driver, a person who drives, you got this DOT physical you got to take, and for me once a year, because I can't get a 2-year because of blood pressure. My blood pressure's high. My blood pressure's been high as long as I've been married. No connection, I'm sure, but it's been high as long as I've been married. And it's hard to get those DOT physicals because right away they nail that blood pressure thing, and they give you more drugs. And I'm on 4 different drugs for blood pressure that typically they give you a variety of things. And I'd like to see all that go away.
You don't believe it will?
I don't believe it. I do. On one level, I was like, yeah, that's why I'm doing this, because I do believe it. But when I see the sandwich and I see the pasta, I think, well, it's probably not going to work anyway. I might as well, enjoy the food and take more drugs.
So how long are you planning to go this right now? As of right now, as you sit here, what's your goal?
Dinner.
Yep.
And it really is, because I've tried this a couple times. We've talked about carnivore, and I thought, well, maybe I should do that. And I've gone a couple of days, and it comes back to it's maybe partially the cravings for other things, but partially it's just like, I don't know. I just don't really think it's going to work. And if I really believed that it would make a difference, I would go further with it. But this time I'm kind of committing to everybody, and we're talking about it. We're doing this video, and we're going to see in 30 days or something. I hesitate to say that's going to go more than 30 days because I like food. I really like pizza.
I wouldn't push for, I'm going to do a year, because that's
mentally overwhelming.
Yeah.
It is.
I also listened to a guy talking about how you shouldn't count your days.
Oh, okay.
Because he said once, if you get to 360 days and then you slip up and you have a cheat day because of this, that, or the other, now you're starting off at 1, and it just destroys everything. So he does suggest 30 days. At the end of 30 days, if you still feel good, continue to do it and stop counting.
Yeah.
And that way, if you slip up for a day, you're just another day.
So goals. I mean, weight loss, I guess. I mean, we could all, at my age, could afford to lose a few pounds. I'm at 223 right now. I weighed this morning.
Okay.
I was actually expecting it to be higher than that, oddly enough. I've been up as high as 140, 145. It's my highest in life. But 223 is where I'm at. So that's my starting number.
We're at the exact same weight. I didn't know that.
Oh, that's interesting. Although I think a little taller.
Probably.
So I'm 6 foot tall at 223. Blood pressure is a big deal. I've got a blood pressure right now. If I was to take it, it's going to be somewhere around 150 over 95.
Okay.
That's
on medication.
On medication. And so that's above DOT level. That's above what a doctor would consider safe. Cholesterol has not been a problem when I have blood work done. They've put me on statins before because I'm just above that line on the cholesterol, and then we've talked about it, and right away I just like, I don't care if the cholesterol's high, I'm getting rid of statins. There's a lot of danger in statins. So I've gotten rid of that, and the last blood test are like, oh, well, you're fine. So I'm okay on that.
So, you said since you've been married, how long have you been on blood pressure medication?
Yeah, I would say, pretty close to 30 years.
Okay, so
And it hasn't increased. I mean, it has increased through the years, the medication level, but not as much as you would think. But it's at this point, it's a fairly high level. I don't know how to describe it. I don't know. I could break down if somebody's interested. I could tell you what I'm on. I mean, it's no secret. We all living out the same life. So
yep.
I'll be glad to give you what I'm on and see how it changes. And if there's a dramatic change on some future video, I could say, hey, this is what I was at, and drop it down. But I want to be right up front now. If you watch those videos when they're 6 months into it, like, oh, I lost 30 pounds and I feel better, and it's like, really? So I'm doing the before video and before I even get started. I guess I had breakfast this morning and I had lunch, which is all carnivore.
Yeah, what did you eat? You'll be amazed how many people want to know what you ate.
Oh, really? Well, both meals, I guess. I just took some sausage and hamburger and kind of mixed it together and put some cheese on it, threw it in a pan with some eggs, and just ate it. Yep. Salted it. That's my typical breakfast anyway. Not usually the beef with it, just sausage and egg and cheese. I eat that every day for breakfast. I have for months and months and months and months. And I haven't done too bad during the week. I haven't been on carnivore, so I'll grab a sandwich once a week or something like that. It hasn't been a frequent thing. Yeah. I'll eat nuts. I love cashews and raisins. That's my thing. I do that almost every day. Red wine. I like a red wine. And that's one of the things I said, maybe I could, I'm trying to negotiate some cheats here. And so we talked about some cheats. I don't know if cheats is the right word, but how far do you have to go? If I have a glass of wine once a week, am I defeating the whole carnivore thing or not? Give me some feedback.
When he says red wine, he's not talking Boone's Farm.
No. We're talking good stuff.
He's talking a good, dry, red wine. That kind of
the
thing.
Real thing. Yeah, that's kind of my thing. I don't smoke. We do have a cigar occasionally, but we don't smoke. Don't drink consistently. Anything like that. So the lifestyle is reasonably healthy. I don't get a ton of exercise. I drive for a living. So I spend a lot of time behind the steering wheel. And so you don't get a whole lot of exercise. I would say that I get tired throughout the day, and tired and driving is not a good mixture. So I frequently will find myself pulling off somewhere, stopping, and just put my head back and doze for 5 minutes. And I know people on keto say, oh, I'm not tired anymore. Okay. I'm going to continue to doze if I need to, because I don't want to doze while I'm driving. It would be the end of my career. So that's a big deal. So I don't like being tired, and I don't like fighting it. That thing when you're driving and fighting the tired. I just won't do that.
You've also had issues since COVID with mental
brain
fog.
Big thing. COVID hit me hard in the way of pneumonia. I got pneumonia from COVID, and it created a lot of oxygen deprivation to the brain and to the kidneys and to a lot of organs. And I suffered for a good year and a half with really bad shape.
When COVID was still a thing, 2019. So you got it.
No, 2020.
Was it 2020?
2020, 2021, in that range.
Okay.
And it took me forever to, you know better than me, to come out of that. And I still struggle. I'm an author on top of everything else, and I haven't written since COVID. My brain, I can't settle it long enough to complete a good thought. So I don't write, but there was a time when I literally couldn't even draw a letter.
You had to relearn how to use a pen.
Yeah, but I can write paragraphs now, but I can't keep focused long enough to write a book. So that's something that I hope comes out of this, is a little more mental clarity. How much of what I'm dealing with is permanent brain damage that's going to be very slow, if ever, to repair, and how much is going to repair itself. Check back in 30 days or 60 days or whatever it takes.
Well, 30, 60 days, but we also need a little accountability from you guys. He's supposed to be updating every day on how he's feeling, and so we're hoping to post. He'll post a video every day. I won't be in all of them. I'm just here for moral support today, but we don't want just the "this is so great." I want him to post because I've been doing this about a month now, and the first week sucks. And I would be one of those that you were talking about earlier, where hey, 30 days is great, and no more brain fog, and I have energy all throughout the day, and blah blah blah. But you didn't see me go through it, so it's hard to believe that.
Yeah. So I'm gonna post daily for a while, and just be honest. That this is going good or not going good. I mean, right now I'm sitting here in my view right here is my kitchen, and I'm thinking, I wonder what's for dinner. I'm not even hungry, but I like food, and so your mind is always going into, what is it? Or I get bored during the day, even when I'm driving. How many of you drive and you're nibbling on something? Yeah. And you can't nibble on a steak, while you're driving. Maybe you can. So yeah, I'll just be honest. How much is that a cravings? How much is it? This is a mental game as much as it's physical. It's changing our physical, hopefully. But it's a mental game to get there.
Yep.
And mental gymnastics I'm not good at because I give in way too easy. We were talking about that earlier, and so we'll see.
It's gonna be hard. So what kind of ailments curse you? You mentioned the blood pressure.
Blood pressure is a big one.
You mentioned the brain fog.
Yes, that's those two are probably the reason for all of this.
Yep.
No question about it.
Do you have joint pain?
Not really. No.
What about
a little bit? Just because I sit behind a steering wheel all day, and when you get out, it's like, oh, I can't move, kind of thing.
Yep.
But that, I come home and walk around the property a little bit, and usually feel quite a bit better. I sleep good for the most part.
One thing that's hard to believe, with the judo and jiu-jitsu that I do, it used to be after hard practice, the next morning you wake up sore.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I no longer wake up sore.
Wow. Yeah, see.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
I can't express to you the difference in that.
Well, just like I just said, drive all day long, and then you get out of the vehicle.
You get the.
Oh yeah, you can't hardly stand up.
Yeah.
I do get out once in a while during the day. I mean, it's not that I'm stuck to the steering wheel, but every time I do, 2-3 hours behind the wheel, and you get out, and it's that, I try to do some stretches and all of that, but if that went away, that'd be great.
You always wear a brace when you're on the computer. Is that?
Yeah, kind of that. It's not really carpal tunnel, but it's that idea. When I have a mouse and I'm trying to use it on my computer, snap. It just makes my wrist get sore if I don't use the brace.
Yep. Well, remember that.
I wouldn't have thought of that.
Kind of thing. You have problems in the sun.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's because of the medications that I'm on, but I've had that as long as I can remember.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the sun. I don't like the heat. I get prickly. I get uncomfortable. Even mentally. I've passed out from heat. I go way back to even before we were married. So 36, probably 38 years ago, I got heat stroke and passed out. And I was out for a long time. They say like 3 days or something that I laid on the floor. We didn't do doctors back then. Still don't. And I just don't like the heat. I don't like, I remember doing shows. We used to be in sales. We go to these outdoor shows, and by the end of the day, I couldn't hardly finish a sentence. And that was before COVID.
Yeah, that was when you were
still healthy. From the heat and the sun, it would just make me sick. So if this affects that, it'd be huge.
Yeah.
But I'm not expecting that.
No.
But that would.
But we want to document that.
Yeah.
Is an issue. I mean, if it heals everything but that,
yeah,
then somebody with that issue watching this video will be like, well, it ain't for me.
Right. That's true. And I'm not expecting that, but I guess that if I document it, I can go back to this video later and say, oh, I forgot I had that problem. Because when problems go away, you don't remember them.
Exactly.
You don't think about, oh, I used to struggle with that.
Yep. Sleeping. Do you sleep well?
I do. I sleep good.
Okay.
Yeah. And Mom says I don't snore. So.
Okay, so no snoring. Do you sleep long? Like when you hit the pillow, is it hard to get to sleep? Do you sleep all through the night? Do you wake up easy?
Yeah, I don't. All of that for me is pretty good.
Okay.
I mean, who doesn't wake up and wish they could get another hour? But I don't struggle getting up. Matter of fact, I'm up before my alarm every day.
Mm-hmm.
So sleep is not a problem for me.
Yep.
Go to sleep quickly, sleep well. If that improves, that's all the better. You know,
Yep.
I love sleep. So, like I say, I try to nap during the day. I napped today. After lunch, I laid down. For me, 10 minutes. If I have a, you know, if I'm driving. If I stop driving and put my head back, it's probably just literally a minute or two, just enough to doze off. If I'm home, I might lay down for 20 minutes, but
yeah,
that's it.
Okay.
But I'm old. You know, I'm just 6 months from being 60.
I'd say 60 years old. Okay,
So
that's a good place to mark that marker.
yeah,
what is your current consistent diet?
well, like I say, the first thing in the morning I have sausage, eggs, and cheese. 3 eggs scrambled, and the little ball of sausage that crunch up and some cheese on it.
Mm-hmm.
Every day. I get a little bored with that. I'm really craving eggs and toast. I have been craving that for a long time. And my wife is not going to allow toast in the house, so I don't get it. Beyond that, I'll have some cottage cheese and berries at lunchtime kind of thing, and I'll have cheese and meat sticks, boiled eggs. So I'm not that far off carnivore. I'm not that far. But then there's the days that I'll have pasta, or I'll have a sandwich, or all that kind of thing. I'll get an iced coffee at McDonald's, which I know is loaded with sugar. Occasionally a Monster drink coffee, which I know is pure poison, but they're good. So those are the things that are a little harder to give up. I don't do it consistently.
Mm-hmm.
Once a week, twice a week. I mean, it's not a consistent thing. But when I wanted, I wanted.
Yep.
And I have a hard time, especially at this point in life, is telling myself no. I mean,
you're 60.
Yeah, I lived this long. Who cares? But yeah, I mean, if I can get past that, that's the demons that haunt me right there.
Yeah.
Is right away, I don't care what kind of diet you do or whatever it is, the first thing that comes to your head is what you can't have.
Yeah, exactly.
And your brain tends to concentrate on what you can't have. It's the human condition. So.
I found when I started, it was better for me to find one thing that I really, really, really liked, rather than trying all these new recipes to try to, I want something that's sweet, so I'm gonna try to make something sweet that I'm allowed to have that's kind of on that more. Does this taste just like it? No, it doesn't taste just like ice cream. It absolutely does not.
No, I know. We've done some of that with the keto thing.
Yeah. You can't trick your brain.
It's better than nothing, but just barely.
Yeah, no. So find something you like.
So couple of things we've talked about, and I call it cheats, and I don't know if that's the right word, but please give us some feedback. You who are experienced and those who are learning. Things like, mushrooms. I would love to be able to put mushrooms in with my eggs and sausage. I know that's not technically carnivore, but it's not technically a vegetable either.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to use, and not a lot, I mean, once a week, but is it a bad thing? I'm hoping to do that. The red wine, I'd like to have a glass once a week. If I'm killing the whole diet by doing that, that'd be the last thing I want to do, because I don't want to go through all this and find out that I just spoiled the whole thing by having a glass. Garlic. Can I put garlic in my food? I intend to. Again, not a lot, but it's good for you. Cayenne pepper. That comes from peppers. It's a vegetable. Cayenne pepper is good for the bloodstream. It's good for the heart. It's good for all that stuff. So it's not a bad thing. But does it spoil the carnivore to the point where, are we such purists in this that I have to go all the way or nothing? Yeah. Let me know.
That's what they would consider the lion diet, where it's just red meat, salt, and water, period.
Yeah.
That would be difficult.
I raise fish, tilapia. So I intend to eat tilapia. That's, something I really enjoy.
You're doing more of an animal-based than a true, strict carnivore. Okay. So you're going to be doing any animal. So fish, birds, four-legged animals, probably not any two-legged animals.
Well, chicken, I hadn't thought about chicken.
Yeah, chicken would work.
Chicken nuggets, I like chicken nuggets.
Yeah, you can have the chicken nuggets as long as there's no bread.
Right.
But you can take pork rinds, blend them up,
yeah,
make an egg wash, and then make your own chicken nuggets.
Yeah.
So that is a thing you can do.
Okay, that's interesting.
That would be completely acceptable. But you're also allowing cheese.
Yes.
Which some carnivore people will say that's not okay because the salts and the dairies and milk, if you can get raw milk.
Okay.
If you get milk from Kroger, maybe our butcher, I don't know. They have a lot of sugars in them to sweeten them. I think ours is still raw milk.
Yeah, we get it from a local dairy here, so.
Yep. So those kinds of things you're allowing. I personally allow salt, pepper, and occasionally garlic powder. And if I need to spice it up, I will do cayenne pepper. That's what I've done. And so far for me, it works.
Okay. Now you would drink an occasional alcohol as well, yes?
Yes,
No?
I occasionally do bourbon, and I'll do my
Bourbon.
mead.
Okay.
Because mead, I make it myself. I'm not buying it where it's got chemicals.
It's good.
And it's just water and honey. And honey on an animal-based diet is one of those things that some people allow because the bees make it. It's not.
Yeah.
It doesn't have all the oxalates and junk in it.
Again, give us your feedback.
Yep.
You know, are we canceling out the benefits by allowing a few luxuries? If so, I'll stop. But
I would suggest for you, at least for a solid 7 days, salt, pepper, meat.
stay pure with it.
Stay pure for 7 days. That's the hardest part.
Yeah.
And then, after your first 7 days, you can add in the cayenne pepper and maybe a glass of wine. And then, okay, you've made it through that. After your 2 weeks, maybe add in your mushrooms. And then I would probably...
Yeah, that's about as far as you can go.
The rest of the month, stay there.
Yep. and I don't want to ruin it. I don't want to go through all this work just to say, every benefit you gained, you just lost because you had a glass of wine. Yeah. I don't want to go there. I'm smart enough to say, okay, let's cut out what we need to cut out. Yeah. But if it's a life sentence of not having what I want, that's what scares me. And I think that's for a lot of you, that's scares you, or has in the past.
Yep.
So.
And one thing you have to remember is it's not a life sentence. It's not I have to stick with this diet for the rest of my life. This is I'm going to get healthy.
Yeah.
And then slowly reintroduce foods back into my life to see what works in my life.
And I have said before, if I was diagnosed with cancer or something, then, and I was trying this,
you'd go to an extreme.
You'd go to an extreme, an absolute extreme, because you realize it is a death sentence. At this point, I'm not aware that I've got anything that severe, but the blood pressure is probably the most deadly thing I've got. And I don't want to discount it. It's still serious. That's a dangerous thing.
Yeah.
But I've dealt with it for years, and medication will fix it. So...
We'll mitigate it. It doesn't fix it.
Right.
Medication doesn't fix anything.
It's true. There's no attempt to fix it.
No.
So that's where we're at. I'll do this once a day for especially the first week. I'll get on here and say I screwed up because I really decided I wanted to say no. I won't. But once a day I'll do a video and just say this is what I ate and this is how I feel, and if it sucks I'll tell you so.
Yep.
And if this goes on for 30 days, if I can stick it out, we'll keep this going. And I would hope that maybe in 30 days you'll join me again and we'll talk about it less like we are here. That's all we got.
We'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Thanks. Bye-bye.